Beautiful morning to be alive. Today is Tuesday, the 10th of February, 2026. Today is a beautiful day. The weather is cloudy. It's really, really cloudy this morning, but we keep it moving. That doesn't mean that the sun won't come out with vengeance later on in the day. I didn't say that's what happens. You are tuned to Women Radio 91.7 FM, the voice of women, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. My name is Fumi Bangala, and this is the Daily News Review program on Women Radio 91.7, where we tackle, we go through the headlines that we see, in the national dailies, and then we really delve into the ones that caught our eye in the morning with our analyst and who we're going to be expecting shortly. And it promises to be a very interesting one today. Many things are happening. I'm tired. I don't even know what to do with my dear country, Nigeria. But we move. Like Tom will always say, Nigeria will be great again. Yes, I believe it, but in whose time, in whose generation? I don't know. Right. And remember that we are live on YouTube at WFM 917. So you can go there to watch. Let's get the views up. Let's get into this digital programming. Okay, so go to YouTube and you can join us live as well. Make your comments and all of that. Our phone lines will be open shortly. You know the number to call: 07000 917 917 or 09155 917 917. Or you can call our toll-free line 0800 1235 917. You can text or WhatsApp us on 08155 917 917 or 0703 1756 537. Okay, if you're not going to join us live and maybe you're on the go, you want to listen to us live, you can listen to us via our website, www.wfm917.com. Now that is out of the way, we're going to be going into the headlines real shortly this morning. Okay. Starting off as per usual with the Punch newspaper. We have Senate reconvenes today as the Electoral Act triggers opera. We did touch on this yesterday, and if you recall, Emmanuel, our in-house analyst, had said, let's wait till today to see what is going to happen with the headlines this morning. Oh, we have an August visitor. Is Rose Yusuf Kaiser this morning? Rose, say good morning.
Good morning, Fumi. Good morning. How are you today? Thank you very much for welcoming me. How you coming to August visitor?
I did not see you yesterday now. We missed you yesterday.
It was traffic that held me up yesterday, but yeah. And today the network wanted to start doing me shaky, but I said, nope, it's not me and you.
How are you? What's your plan for Valentine's Day?
I'll let you know. Or maybe I'll just follow I'll just follow Emmanuel's lead. He said that he's a man of war. So maybe.
Okay, I started off in the Punch newspaper this morning because I don't have your power. Ibadan stressed me yesterday, so I don't have your power today. We said that the Senate reconvenes today as the Electoral Act triggers uproar, and this has been unfolding day by day, because as of last week, the Senate president had come out to say, we didn't say that we're not going to transmit, and then there's Higi Haga everywhere, and then now he said, look, we're saying that we didn't say there's not going to be transmission, it's just that it's not going to be real time. And NLC has threatened protests if they don't transmit real time. There's been back and forth with David Mark and the Senate president, where the Senate president says, look, we don't have good communication in Nigeria, which to me is not really you don't hold water, because you've had so much time to work on this. David Mark is saying, oh no, I hear you, but let the INEC be the ones to say, oh, this what, or this what, or this what. It shouldn't be the Senate. So they are reconvening today per this matter. So we are waiting to see how that unfolds. Next up, we have NAPTIP returns 46 trafficked women and children to Katsina government. So these women, they were en route Chad, They say they want to get a better life. So they were being trafficked, and then I think, yeah, it was the immigration, yes, that that intervened, that found them and then brought them back, and then NAPTIP returned them back to the Katsina state government.
Hmm. Well, heading on to the Guardian, four feared dead in Kogi communal clash. Fresh killings and abductions heighten security fears amid drone attacks. Fresh killings, abduction heightened security fears amid drone attacks. Okay, let us see how this gets to unfold. Because the abductions don't seem to go down, the killings too are just on the rise. So there's a lot of fear going around people. Even we that are here, let's not sit down and say, "Oh, it's not close to us. It's not this. It's not that." Trust me. You probably know somebody that knows somebody that is staying in some of these places. So yeah, it's definitely something that would bring fear to the people. I mean, I think that's 2 weeks Sunday or so. A woman came to give testimony in church. No, she came to give a prayer request that we should please pray for her neighbor who traveled and got kidnapped. So I think after about 2 weeks, she came back to say, "Oh, that the lady has been, released." So we can see that whether we like it or not, we're connected to somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that could be facing one of these things. So please, let's try to raise our voices and also do what we can to see that all of these just go away.
Yeah, yeah. This day newspaper, we have Electoral Act again. Coalition of CSOs warns 2027 elections may be compromised. Jesus, we never even reach. Oh, they're already saying it may be compromised. God, I beg. Ah. Tinubu terrorism giving Nigerians sleepless nights will overcome them all. Okay, Mr. President.
It's just tiring to read some of these things. Oh, we deploy troops here. Don't worry, overcome it. This and that. The
God, I beg.
president. Let's match the words with actions. Anyway, even the military personnel who are in the forefront of this, I'm sure to a very large extent they're trying their best because we get to lose good hands, we get to lose our brothers, we get to lose our husbands, we get to lose our nephews and cousins who go there, to safeguard the country and to fight insurgency, Boko Haram, and all of that. So it's yeah, we'll say they are doing their best to a very large extent. We just hope that all our security operatives, the leaders, heads will sit down together and see, take a decisive, make a really strong decision so that all of these things at least we'll see a reduction in them. All right, Daily Trusts. Visually impaired applicants allege exclusion from Lagos employment. This one is really strong. When we're looking for an inclusive society in 2026 where we should be all inclusive, we're still talking about this. Student
And this is
guide.
what Mrs. Oboli, sorry to cut you, this is what Mrs. Oboli
Yeah.
is always complaining about. Because remember, there was a
Yeah.
particular Mrs. Oboli had called, talking about how the school of the visually impaired, I think, was it in Ketu? I don't remember the location, they had gone to protest because it was being shut down. And if you're saying that you're making provision for people, they make provision for everybody. I mean, to be honest, women will complain, visually impaired will complain, those who are differently abled will complain. So what are you doing to make to bring about inclusion for Nigerians? Is I'm sure I've heard people say, oh, they've not even finished providing for normal people that are not disabled. You're not talking about people who are differently able.
Yeah.
It's very, very annoying to see. Even you as an able-bodied person, when you go to certain places and the elevator is not working, you are running out. You're 15th floor and you have to climb the staircase. What then happens when someone who's on a wheelchair? What happens? The person cannot go upstairs, and those are the things that happen. Some years ago, there was a young doctor who died in the elevator that was spoiled. As at I think last year, apparently, allegedly, the elevator has still not been repaired. So those
Oh,
things happen, and you're wondering what, like, it's not gonna cost you anything because we know that the money for these things have been allocated. There's been allocation for them. So this is not a case of the government hasn't allocated. We know, So I don't know.
all right. Student dies after bullying incidents in Yobe school.
Who is this person's mother? Who? How are you raising bullies? Ah,
Just unfortunate. Yeah.
ah, ah. Like, what would have happened that would have caused this child to die? Was it the bullying that caused
Obviously.
the death, or was it? Did they
Maybe the
did they
effect of it.
Ah, yeah. God, I beg. That's so
Just
sad.
unfortunate. Yeah.
Next up in the Vanguard newspaper, we have NAFDAC uncovers death warehouses in Lagos. Next up, Rivers crisis. I feel like I'm a prophet at this point because I've said it time and time again on here that whenever you go into the president's tabernacle, you go in one way, you come out another way. We've seen it happen many, many times. Now, Fubara and Wike went into this headline says reverse crisis. Fubara Wike meets Tinubu in Abuja. What another article said is that the two of them went separately, but they came back together and they were in the same car. They left together. They were now cozy. We don't know what that means afterward, but yeah. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Nigerian politicians say, no, they follow them. Oh. No, they follow them.
Very
Hello.
untrustworthy.
Premium Times, Nigerian lawmakers canvass removal of electricity subsidy. Police arrest vigilante chief and two others for allegedly torturing suspected thief to death.
Huh. Oh, wow. In the Nation newspaper, we have DHQ activates Operation Savannah Shield in Kwara. Next up on the Nation newspaper, we have the federal government begins implementation of pact with ASU. Love to see this. Love to see this.
Yeah. Hopefully, it don't stop halfway. It just keeps going. Now, on the cable, CBN NCC proposed suspension of airtime data sale during network outages. And now, before your money will be hanging, you know, see your money come back, and you know, see data,
My
you know, see
husband
credit.
buy data for me yesterday in Winter.
Ah,
I had to beg him because I was unable to do it where I was. I had to beg him again to do it again. He had to now do a smaller amount of that's the one that now entered. So they should please be paying. Anyway. Next up on the cable.
Yeah. Court adjourns Arise TV anchor's murder trial as prison officers fail to produce suspects.
Oh, wow. Wait, what?
See, the suspects just disappeared from prison, Abi what? So they had to adjourn the case. You remember that Arise TV lady who died, the case of the armed robbery that was going on here around in her, house or in their estates. So now this is saying that they've adjourned the murder trial because the suspects that were in prison failed to appear. So the prison officers failed to produce the suspects. So how did what did it happen? So is there more to this story that we are just hearing? All right, that's fine for me. Let's head on to Daily Post.
In the Daily, but no, like it's just to move on. It's just to move on.
The more you see, the less you understand. That's just what's going on there.
God, I beg. Daily Post, 9 worshippers abducted during night vigil in Benue Catholic Church. God, what's okay? Electoral Act amendment. Akpabio is the problem. Tinubu lapdog says El Rufai.
On the Tribune, Oyo princes sue Alafin and seek court restriction on public appearances. Onitsha main market records full trading as Monday sit at home eases. Yep, this is good.
That is good. Finally, in the dailies this morning, we have Nigerian army discovers shallow graves with mutilated bodies in Ebonyi community. Ha. Phew. Lastly, we have appeal court affirms suspension of Natasha. Wait, is this new suspension?
No. It's the old one. It's still they were
Old
still
one.
standing on the old, saying
But
that yes, as far as they're concerned, they followed the
new
law.
process.
They did it through the book, so there's no issue, that should arise from that.
All right. Okay. Those are the headlines this morning from the national dailies. You want to do well to get you a copy, read online. Better still, stick around with the ones that caught our eye this morning. Right about now, it is 14 minutes to 8 this morning. This is still Women Radio 91.7 FM. We just read off the headlines on the Daily News Review program this morning. You're still tuning to Women Radio. Like I said, we are live on YouTube at WFM 917, and you can listen to us on the go via our website, www.wfm917. Now that that is out of the way, let's welcome our analyst for this morning. Good morning, Gadeyemi. How are you?
Good morning for me. Good morning to you, Rose, and the entire family of Women Radio all around the world. I'm good.
Adeyemi, there's
Good
something
morning.
different about you. You cut off your beard.
Yeah, I did. Yes, I shaved.
Wow, is this in preparation for Valentine's Day?
No, it's not. I told you that presently I'm running a program in law, master's degree in law. So I needed to, follow the ethics of the
Look
profession.
the part. Yeah.
Wow. Masters in law. Okay. Okay, let's get into it this morning. Our first headline is from the Daily Trust. Amupitan's appointment stands rejected. This is coming from Sheik Jingir. Did I mention his name right? Rose?
Jingir.
Jingir is. So the National Chairman Council of Ulama Jama'atu Izalatil Bida Waikamatis Sunnah.
Just go ahead, Sheikh Sani Yahya Jingir.
Yes, he has described the appointment of Professor Joash Ojo Amupitan as chairman of INEC as a risk of the highest order. Now, what happened? It turns out that they found, some document that he had written years ago where he sort of like attempted to justify the alleged genocides, Christian genocide in Nigeria. And even though the Tinubu administration has denied this allegation, the government is still silent on the call for Amupitan's removal. If you recall, he was just installed as the chairman, I think November, October last year. And so apparently the accusation basically says that the INEC chairman publicly accused Muslims of genocide against Christians in the country and therefore shouldn't be allowed to hold sensitive positions like INEC. Plain and simple, that's what they're saying. And he goes on to say different things. That's the Sheikh goes on to say, oh, why is there someone that's abused this and is appointed INEC chairman. I would like to know your thoughts on this because I'm trying to hold myself, because I think for me, when the Sheikh comes out to say something like this and says, oh, somebody INEC chairman accused the Muslims of genocide, if we're going to be factual without sentiment or without emotion, the people that have been killing people in this country have been Muslims. Whether you call them extremists or not, they have been Muslims. So I think if we can establish that fact, we're good. But then, Adeyemi, what are your thoughts on this? Would you say that the Sheikh is nitpicking? Would you say that, it's because he's a Christian, they want him removed as a Christian? The third question I have for you is, there's always been thoughts or allegations, whichever way you want to put it, that this country has been ruled, or whoever gets to sit down in the presidency has always been ruled by the North. So it's whenever the North says this is who we want that we go with it, right? So those are different questions I have for you. Yes, sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you very much for me. Let me start from the last one. The narration is getting different now as it is.
Mhm.
You could say that in times past, but
Mhm.
with the present administration and the person occupying the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you would understand and you will say and you will agree with me categorically that that is not the case. Nobody, nobody is can manipulate him and nobody is doing that as it is.
Mhm.
Whatever decision it takes, you know that it's taking it in the best interest of the whole Nigeria, and that's what we
Mhm.
have been doing. So that narration, that should be, let's say, was in the past.
Was in the
And
past.
talking about the Sheikh, you
Mhm.
see, it's quite unfortunate that when there are issues, certain elements will just come and say things and think the country belongs to them. So whatever they say, they can always have their way. It's not so, and it's not going to happen that way anymore.
Mhm.
The truth of the matter is, yes, Amupitan wrote about the genocide of the Christians in Nigeria,
Mhm.
emphasizing those who were doing it. Look, let's be honest with ourselves. Were there no killings of the Christians in Nigeria?
Mhm.
Especially when you look at the central north, not central, and particularly the southern part of Kaduna.
You know.
Yeah.
We saw all that really happen in the course of those period. I was in Kaduna in one of the years. I was in Kaduna in year 2000 when this Kaduna riot started. I was just being fortunate that God helped me. I don't reach Lagos before the whole ulala. Of course, you see, my colleague who took over from me because I went there for a job opportunity and I supervised some project there. The person who took over from me actually told me what he saw, what he witnessed,
Mhm.
how people were being removed from their vehicles
Mhm.
and slaughtered on their car on the highway
Mhm.
and set ablaze together with the vehicle, how they overrun people in their houses on the streets. You see, we cannot continue to pretend as if this thing did not happen. It happened. But in the course of time, at the same time, we should look at it this way. We saw when this terrorist element, these bandits, now have not taken it to another level. It is no longer the Christian alone that have been killed, that have been abducted. There is everybody in all Nigeria, whoever they feel, okay, you are against them or you do anything that does not align with them or you do not follow their tenets, they come after those people. And you saw what has been happening in the northern part of the country, northwest and the northeast. So these are the troubles we are talking about. So if the government of the nation deny that there is no Christian genocide, it's not that they are denying it completely that there is no genocide, that there's no killing in Nigeria. But they don't just want it to be that, okay, it's the Muslims that are doing it, but it's only Christians that are being killed. No, it's no longer Christians alone that are being killed now. Even the Muslims are being killed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's the honest truth about the situation at the moment. But talking about Amupitan and the Sheikh, you see, I think it is the right time to speak to all these bodies. They have no business with governance.
Mhm.
Yes, you can tell us that, okay, these things are wrong. You can go this way or this way, but you cannot speak affirmatively, authoritatively, and say this thing has to be done this way. It is not done. You are not saddled with that responsibility. You don't have that authority. You don't have that power. Gone were those days that anybody, and especially when they are Muslims and they are from the other part of the country, can
Mhm.
say things and the country be shaking and it has to be so. It's not going to be so anymore. Nigerian belongs to all. Everybody has equal rights, irrespective of your ethnic background, your religious background. We all have equal right. And whatever it is good for A, it is good for B and good for C. That is the way it is in the Constitution. And we are going to uphold that Constitution to the letter as it is today in this country. And you see, There is no way Amupitan wrote that. Don't forget, he's a scholar. And when things like that happen, it is meant to be documented. It is meant to be documented, and it must be in the public knowledge. We cannot continue to do things, we cannot continue to kill our people, and we will put it under the carpet. It will not be in the open. Now, thank God for the, what do you call it? The answer, the internet, that has made the world a global village. That easily every news, whatever events that happens now, translates from one place to the other, and it goes viral. So nothing is hidden anymore. Whether you like, commit anything in your domain, people will carry it. As when even when there is an accident, as you see people that are trying to rescue those accident victims, so you will see people who are also catching, videoing, doing everything to transmit it to the entire world. So Amupitan has not done anything wrong. It hasn't done anything out of context. As a scholar and as a man who loves his country and his people, the truth of the matter is that, look, we need to speak to ourselves. We need to speak to those who are our brothers. We need to speak to those who are lieutenants. We need to speak to those who are followers that are perpetuating this act. That is what we need to do. It is not twisting the arms of the government. It is not. These are the things that we need to do as a people until we come to the realization and a clear understanding that we have a prominent role to play in this nation. Every time we say the government, now the government will not be everywhere. Is the government the one perpetuating the act? We are the people perpetuating this act. And so, if we will continue to want the government to have a solution to the problem, no matter the solution that the government will prefer, if we also do not stop our act, that it will continue, and whatever the government is doing, we amount to nothing. Because in as much as we have most who are part of us, who are our elements in the military, in all the agencies that gives information out, and we have a lieutenant who are the foot soldiers that perpetuate this heinous act everywhere on daily basis, then something has to be done by us, the people. So the so-called, the team of imams, what they should do is for them to go back and speak to their followers and let them understand their stand, that they are against the killing of the people of Nigeria, that it has to stop. That is what they should be emphasizing on. That should be their position. That should be their concern. That should be their take. That should be their next drive. That this killing in this country has to stop. That the teachings that they have been taught over the time does no longer exist. Times has evolved. That is what the Sheikh ought to be telling those people who they are together in that conference. That is what they should go back to their different domain and speak to their people. That is it, not about Amupitan. Let him leave governance. Whatever the decision, the government knows about everything. Before Amupitan can be calling, they've done thorough investigation concerning him. And they know that he's worthy of that position, and that is why he's there. Nobody, I repeat it, and I'm saying it emphatically this morning, nobody can twist the government of this nation anymore. It does not matter whether the sitting president is a Muslim or the vice president is a Muslim. These two people, as we speak, when you look at their body language, you know that they are following the law. They are not biased. They do not think to one side or the other. They are focused on where they are going. And that is the way it's going to be. And that's the way it is. And that's how we are going to be. Ends from this nation. It doesn't matter who you are. I know that anytime when these people finish their tenure, any government that will come over, even let's say from the north, I know that those that will take over from the north are those that are right thinking, those who value lives, and they will make sure that Nigeria is safe Nigeria is protected and Nigeria progress. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adeyemi, for for today's for what you just said right now, because I mean, it's almost like we're nitpicking, we're choosing and picking. It's like you already said, the lives of Nigerians are what's at stake. All these ones are not. Are people being killed? Yes. Who are killing people? We know. Let's take these messages this morning. Morning to you in the studio. On insecurity, federal government needs to give authority to states to have state police, and if possible, local government police, to reduce this massive killing of citizens like what happened in Kwara State. And on this e-transmission of election results, the National Assembly should pass it if it won't separate any part of Nigeria's voters for Nigeria being included in the election results. And for the fake drugs in circulation, hope NAFDAC and other agencies will stop taking bribe and bring the importers to book, and if possible, send them to prison. That's from Additional Wasiu in Ikorodu. He continues to say, and to have Nigeria, I think we need to restructure this country. Let us decentralize everything in Nigeria, starting from security apparatus of Nigeria. Let each state have the control of their own police and also their own resources, and pay 15% into federation accounts. With this, there will be more employment in all states and bring positive development to Nigeria, and peace will return. Thank you so much for your message. Prince from Asaba today, he says, good morning, Nigerians across the world. Fumi and Rose, I can see how difficult it is for both of you to even read through their lies as headlines this morning. Please, my question is, like Aka said, can Tinubu at this point call himself as the Commander-in-Chief, Federal Republic of Nigeria, where USA is helping to fight terrorism in a sabotaging eye view, and China is in charge of our tax collection, where all their selected selves are only interested in who defects to APC and borrowing away the unborn salaries. Gold in the north belongs to the north, saved in the central banks, but the crude in the south is a national contention, and taxes from south can be shared across the country, but its resources are seen as taboo in the north. I am for a new Nigeria. It's either now or we go our separate ways. Good morning, Mr. Adeyemi, my learning fellow. Olusola Ajayi from Odola Ikorodu says, this isn't just a protest. It's a demand for credibility, accountability, and a future where every vote truly counts. If the results are clean, why fear e-transmission? Nigerians are watching. A generation tired of stolen mandates is standing up. Transparency is no longer negotiable. No transparency, no trust, no democracy. Thank you, Olusola, for your message. Morning to you in the studio. Akpabio and Ahmed Lawal were manipulated into the National Assembly by Tinubu and the judiciary. So the same Akpabio wants to manipulate the electoral law as he was manipulated to us after they lost the APC primary in 2023. Why is everything about this APC government full of manipulations, e.g. the tax bill and so many others? Fresh killings again in a country that we have a sitting president and commander-in-chief, as we claimed. Please, between the bandits, Boko Haram, and the executives, who is now the commander-in-chief? APC government lies, deceit, and propaganda has expired. Oh God, arise and trouble those that are troubling Nigerians. That is Mayor from Ikotun Ebe. Okay, Mr. Zaboli sent a message, not a call this morning. Good morning, ladies, and a wonderful morning to our guests. Welcome to another week of Rancor. Rabble rousing you bereft of candor. Hearing the news of disparity amongst persons living with disabilities in the area of employment breaks my heart. If those who are able-bodied are presently complaining about the weight and burden of the nation's economy, how then do we want persons with disabilities who are excluded from employment, both in the private and public sector, to cater to the needs of their family? In this time and age where the clamor for inclusivity is rife amongst us, make this sidelining of the disabled community make sense to me, I beg. The government taxes this community, appeals to them to garner their votes, but when it comes to them eking out a living to cater to the needs of their families and themselves, you push them to the corner. This has got to stop, for God's sake, because the lives of persons with disabilities matter. Kindly tell Mr. Adeyemi I love the new look he's rocking and wish him success in his master's program. On Amupitan's issue, whatever these clerics have against him is baseless, and it is absolutely flimsy excuses that don't hold water. In conclusion, except we get to a point in this country where ethnicity, religious bias, and propaganda, political propaganda and affiliations won't come before our democracy, that is the beginning of our liberation as a people. Thank you so much, every single person, Mrs. Oboli, Mayor, Olusoga, Adeyemi, Prince, Adeshina, for your messages this morning. But Adeyemi, I would like you to actually speak about this proposed protest that is happening with regards the Electoral Act. Yeah, I think you sort of touched on it last week, if memory serves me right. But what do you say about the live transmission of it? People are now saying, look, this thing needs to be transmitted. Don't come and quote network challenges and network failures for us. I'd like to speak to that before we go to the next one.
Thank you very much for me. Yes. What is expected is that there should be live transmission. But all the same, we are people, and don't forget that what you are dealing with is called electronics.
Mm-hmm.
There could be glitches. Even in the United States, that is the #1 hub of democracy. I remember sometimes in the course of their election that they had these electronic glitches as well. That everything was, they have to collate their result in some parts physically. So, you see, we must understand that. But the truth is that, yes, let it be that it's going to be transmitted electronically. But when there are glitches, there will be no alternative other than for them to do it maybe manually, which is what happens anywhere. Even us that we speak. Sometimes our phones, I tell you, there was a day my phone was misbehaving completely. I spoke to somebody, I called one of my younger brother who works for me this morning. I said, I've not seen you for quite a while. He said, sir, your phone, you told us that your phone had issue now. And I tried calling you, I couldn't get through to you. I said, but you will have called even days after now, after all. So it happens. So when it happens, what do you expect these people to do? Are they going to sit down and be looking and say because this electronics, the machine or something has issue, they will not move forward? There must be a way out. You see, we must just understand. Yes, in as much as I am not of those electronics, but when there are issues, there must be a way out. So whatever way out they feel they could project or they could, embark on at that particular moment, let them do it so that we can have the results. So that's what it is.
Okay.
All right, let's get to see how all of this gets to unfold, though. I'm hoping that, with all of the protests that started, yesterday or a few days ago, I'm hoping that, the Senate gets to sit down, look at it, and probably listen to the people and see how we can all meet ourselves in the middle. Because at the end of it, we can't all have it as we want. So let's see how we can meet ourselves in the middle and, have a sane society at the end of the day. We just don't want that, that choice is taken away from us just like that. So let's see how we can all meet ourselves in the middle. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Radio.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Umi. Good morning, Madam Rose. Mr. Adeyemi, good morning. Welcome on board. Yes, this is Gibson calling from Oba. As I put me rightly say, I cannot come and kill myself for all those politicians. Their interest comes first. I'm looking forward for the day the true Nigeria will be the president of this country. Things will come around. Even we ourselves, Nigeria generally, we need the orientation. Whereby we truly love ourselves and love our country. Like America always, you see everything, say, God bless America. They love their country. We should love our country. Start somewhere. America, we are talking to, they started somewhere. No will not do it in a day. And that's the Bible says. We should pray for our leaders. It's God that put them there. Without God, they cannot be there. It does not take God anything to remove Tinubu now, even right now as I'm talking to you. We should pray for leaders so that God will guide them. And we also, anywhere we are, we should always do the right thing. That if you keep on doing the same thing and expecting a different result, it's not going to be. You put all anywhere we are, we do the right thing in the fear of God. Nigeria, great again. On this edge, I believe what my friend Ademi has said on this, it's not an issue. This edge, because anybody that kills, whether Muslim or if a terrorist, should not even be allowed. Why are they not going against this killing? Muslims. Forget about it, they are just hiding under religion, perpetrating this. Remember what Buhari did to El Zakazaki. Some of these clerics should be dealt with. You know, El Zakazaki before is greater than even military cannot. You know what you were doing before. But now, do you hear about him? Some of these people are hiding under religion because I always tell you, I have Bible, I have Quran. No one commend killing because God created us all. We understand. So we should love ourselves because he said the Muslim is a religion of peace. Christian religion of love. Where is that peace? Where is not love? We are just deceiving ourselves. God is watching us all. It's a matter of time. Thank you. God bless you. God bless. And Nigeria will be great again. You learn to always do the right thing. Nothing in this life. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Evangelist Dixon. Let's head on to the next headline, and this is still coming back to insecurity. Now, the president, like we read in one of the headlines, and this is coming from the Nation newspaper, where he said, "We will defeat this unacceptable terrorism and banditry," says the president. Now, he said that. Anyway, the headline says, with a pledge that sounded both defiant and urgent, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu declared the terrorism and banditry would be defeated. He insisted that the violence afflicting part of the country is unacceptable and fundamentally alien to Nigerian values. So now he also went on to say that this is a charge to the governors and local government leaders that this thing is not just dependent on Nigeria on its own, dependent on what happens in Abuja. It's also on you too, the governors and the local government chairman. What are you doing to actually see that this all of these insecurities are nipped in the bud? Can we all come together and work together? Because it's not about what happens in Abuja. I can stay in Abuja and make my proclamations and all, but the action has to be taken from all of you. So a decisive action needs to be taken at the grassroots. And when you look at the grassroots, or looking at local government, or looking at the state government. Now, for the local government, I want to believe that they know probably the peculiar cases that is going on there, because all of us who are outside there can just be looking at it from the outside, part of it, get to maybe talk about the issues without even knowing, what the cocoa that is even going on in these communities. But they that are in the communities actually know exactly what is going on there. So if a solution has to come up, it probably has to come up from them, get to the state government, and then get to the federal government, because it has to be a collective effort, and if help has to come, it has to come from above to down. So it's about working together collectively to see that all of these things actually come to an end. So I'd just like to hear your thoughts on this. The president also went on to assure Nigerians that his administration remains resolute in strengthening the nation's security architecture and restoring peace to communities, that are scared by insurgency, banditry, and violent crime. So I'd just like to hear your thoughts on this because at the end of the day, we still have lots of people who will say, oh, the president is always making proclamations, is always sending troops down. A lot of insecurities are happening. He doesn't even go to see the sites where these things are happening, and all of these things that you get to hear. But the president is saying that, what, all of this will become, a thing of the past very soon, because that's just what he's saying. He said that terrorism is unacceptable and it's alien to us. But we know that this has been with us for a very long time. So let's talk about the state government and the local government, their efforts in bringing down all of this insecurity. How far do you think they can go?
Thank you very much, Rose. Don't forget that before now, I'm one of those who have been emphatically speaking on holding the governors, the local government chairmen, and the leaders, particularly the emirs, the feudal leaders in their area, accountable for concerning this insecurity of a thing. You see, until the leaders, the community leaders, the local government chairmen, the governors of the states, until they are being held accountable, they know who these people are. They are people in their community. They are people in their domain. They are people who live in their states. You cannot expect Mr. President to do it all alone. Yes, we have the military. The military are saddled with the responsibility of protecting the territory, integrity of the nation. Yes, but all the same, who are the people that are constituting this crime that we are talking about? They are Nigerians. They are Nigerian locals. They are Nigerians that live within the enclave called Nigeria. They are Nigerian elites that are behind those who are committing this crime. They are their sponsors. So on what I think we need to do, apart from the chairman, the governor, is what exactly? You see, some Pastor Evangelist Dixon talk about reorientation. We also dabble into the case of the Sheik who said Amupitan is not should be removed. These are the people who are supposed to be saddled with the responsibility of being accountable for this insecurity. Because most of these fights that these people said they are fighting, it is always based on the tenets of their religion. That's what they say. And they have brainwashed them to the extent that they have been told that when you fight this holy war, when you kill the infidel, that and if you eventually die in the course of it, you will go to paradise. And up there in the paradise, you marry 72 virgin. You see, these are what goes into these people's brain. Until we decide as a people, until these so-called leaders, these religious leaders, these clerics, until they decide to now tell them, reverse all their teaching, educate them with the reality of living in the world and what is expected as a responsible citizen and an Islamic leader and follower of this nation. You see, yes, the governor, they have a role to play because why? Another thing, in criminology, in one of the research in criminology, it is said that in the course of when there is insecurity in a state, you know that the security vote tends to go up. So, and that has been one of the reasons why you see that all these states, they will always be trying and say, talking, they have not really taken that decisive action that they want it to stop because they are benefiting. And it has also been said, you see, I think it's time that we continue to hold our leaders accountable. And the government, the body, that's the agencies, we need to also hold them accountable. Senator Adams Oshiomhole said, and I quote, he said, all the insecurity that is taking place in the north is based on the fact that the natural mineral resources of that region is being mined illegally, and some generals are the one behind it. So what are the agencies doing? Are they not meant to investigate and know who these generals are? Apprehend them arrest them, prosecute them. Since these are the people who are behind it. Because why? They are using it to cover up, to exploit all our mineral resources for their own personal gain.
Hello.
So these are the things we need to understand.
Good morning.
Somebody
I think we have a call. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Is yeah, this is Obi from
Hi,
here.
Obi. Good morning, Obi. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, my comment, I want to ask your analyst a question. He said we shouldn't blame the president, that the president cannot do everything. And I want to ask, military soldiers were recalled in Niger State. And after that, people were kidnapped, people were killed. And up to now, we are still asking who recalled the soldiers. So why you say that we should not blame the president? Why we are still asking who recalled the soldiers? Who is the commander-in-chief of the soldiers? So how come the commander-in-chief of the soldiers wasn't aware that the soldiers were kidnapped, were recalled before the kidnapping took place? Why is your analyst always trying to protect the APC and Tinubu government? In fact, I don't just know what to say. Thank you.
Can you really got? I didn't hear him well.
Me neither. Rosie,
I didn't hear him well.
No, the line was cracking from this end.
I didn't hear him well. But I think he was trying to. I said maybe the president. What's the role of the president as the chief commander? Well, let me explain it to you. You talk about the kidnapping of the soldiers. That what is the responsibility of the president? The responsibility of the president as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, yes, is to give orders when there are issues. But don't forget, as it is today, there is a standing order, and Nigerian army are being deployed. Armed forces, not just Nigerian army. The armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria are being deployed to these volatile states. Every of these states you are talking about, we have the presence of the armed forces there. But let's be honest with ourselves. If the armed forces are stationed in a place and they continue to patrol, but do you know that by the time even when in the course of their patrolling, they can still carry out this crime? We must understand it. You see, everybody, when we want to talk, we talk about U.S., how U.S. is being protected. Do we also understand that there are shootings that goes on daily basis in the United States of America that you and I, we are always referring to? But you see, I'm not saying that the president is completely exonerated. But I'm telling you that, look, if the president has given the order, he has given the order to the armed forces to make sure that they stop this insecurity. What is it expected? Is it expected of the president to be the one to lead in the forefront? No. His own is to delegate, and that he has done to the service chiefs, the chief of defense staff, the chief of armed forces of the Nigerian Army, the naval staff, and the Air Force, and also the Minister of Defense. This he has done. And also don't forget that we continue. He said it in one of his messages recently that they are going to establish more mechanization. What's mechanization? That's division of the Nigerian Army. That they are going to establish more. You see, do we have enough population in Nigeria Army to actually meet up with this insecurity? How many Nigerians today want their children to go and join the armed forces? Like me, my wife will tell me, your children can't go. Even when I said, I want my sons to go to NDA.
I can't believe you, actually.
My wife will tell me, no. That's the honest truth. Because I grew up, my father is a retired military officer. So I was born and raised as a military boy. I went to military schools. So it's my desire. If I couldn't follow up because of one reason or the other, I wanted my children to go, but my wife said, no, I'm not the only one in the vehicle. I must also follow a take as well, as a mother, as a wife. So, but what we are saying in essence is this. The president has assigned that responsibility of protecting the life and property of this nation to the Nigerian Armed Forces. And we must understand that the armed forces are trying all they could in their capacity. And don't forget that is one of the reasons. Somebody said it the other time that his president is in charge. Yes, in charge. Are we not the same people that said we are inviting the America to come to Nigeria? Are we not the same people clamoring for it? Are we not the same people agitating, calling for it? Now they said they came. And they are it's collaboration. It happens everywhere.
All right,
that is called collaboration. We must understand it. This president, look, until we stop being biased, until we become objective in our day-to-day activities and the way we see when it comes to matter that pertains to Nigeria, we will not move forward. You see, our stand of being biased is one of the things that is taking us backward. That's the honest truth. Until we are being objective, that we see things that we ought to do collectively as a people and move forward, that is when we can get it right. But if you say because your so-called candidate is not in power, that's why you continue to run that the government of the other person, you will not get it right. And your candidate, I can tell you categorically, if we go through the antecedents of what they did when they were in office, I tell you, those candidates, there's no one of the candidates so far, as it is today, that measure up to this president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Please, let's be honest with ourselves. We should stop and be objective and be honest with whatever we are doing as a people.
We have to round off today. Today's show, we are way out of time. I wanted to quickly take these messages. I'm going to rush through it. Mr. Demi, we know there will be glitches, especially man-made glitches in this part of the country to suit the whims and caprices of a few crooked persons. Even if there will be manual collation, let there still be economic transmission bereft of interference from the high and mighty in the society, period. All these quotes about national grid collapse and excuses upon excuses should be pushed aside, and the true winner declared at the end of the electoral exercise. That's from Mrs. Oboli to you. Prince says, good morning, Mr. Dixon. I agree with you, as you always say. God bless America, as they say, is from the deep and collective passion and holistic coexistence of all citizens in America. African men have become presidents, but in this Nigeria, can an Igbo man become a market leader in Ogun State? Everyone and all national assets belong to all citizens. Tell me about Nigeria now. That's from Prince. Thank you so much, every single person who has called and has sent in a message this morning. Today was fiery as usual. I don't know what it is about Adeyemi that brings people out and gets them upset, but yeah, and from us at Women Radio, we wish you the very best in your master's program. Adeyemi, we are proud of you because we're proud of you. Okay, with that being said, we've come to the end of the Daily News Review this morning. 9 o'clock is her lens. 9 o'clock is the news. 9:05 is her lens with Rose. Many thanks to our producers this morning, Rachel, Miriam, Benjamin, Michael in the studio. We truly appreciate you. From me, have a great day.
Good morning.